What's up? What's up? Jeff Lerner here. How's it going? Just popping on live like I do most days. It is 4:10 Mountain Time. How's everybody doing? It's Monday. You crushing your life yet? You cleaning up, taking names, making big money moves? What's up, David? What's up, Double X? What's up, Will? What's up, Elijah? What's up, Riley? How's everybody doing? Ben, all kinds of good people popping on. Always excited to be here with you. Hey, Wanda, how are you? Man, we got a lot going on. How's everybody's Monday going? I'd love to hear from you. And by the way, I'm going to say right up front, let's share this. Let's share this with the world. If you know my stuff, you know that for better or for worse, I'm committed at least to doing my best to serve the world, try to move things forward. You know, it's a messed up world out there. Andres, what's up? Elizabeth, what's up? Good people, good people. So today's subject is about social media. I don't know if you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Diana, how are you? They're getting some backlash. They're getting accused of censorship. They're getting accused of suppressing free speech. They're getting accused of, almost like abuse of people's data, abuse of, hey, Seth, appreciate you being here. They're getting accused of all kinds of nasty stuff. Personally, I don't know. I don't know if it's as bad as all that, but that is what they say. Forgive me. I got too many screens up and going here. So anyway, there's these new platforms, Parler and MeWe. Anybody check those out? What's up, Ian? What's up, Justin? Yeah, people are tired of Facebook. They are. That's what the comments I'm seeing. Anybody tried Parler? Anybody tried MeWe? I'm curious if anybody's tried these new platforms. I will admit, I have not delved into them too much yet. Gerard from Toronto, appreciate you being here. Mary, what's up? What's up? Paolo, Will, Martin, Chadrick, Charles. Oh, like I said, all kinds of good people. So I have a Parler account. I do not have a MeWe account. Here's the deal on these. So with everything going on, and obviously this is kind of a hot button right now because of the election, people are real worried about, suppression of ideas. And it's really the combination of the election and COVID. We've seen this sort of heavy-handed, almost interventionist behavior from Google and Facebook. As a marketer, they're interesting and a little bit challenging for me. There's no advertising platforms. Parler's in the early stages. MeWe claims to be steadfastly ad-free. I think time will tell. As a marketer, I can't target you. I can't run ads to you on these platforms. So that's a curiosity for me. But I think that, I think it's a matter of time, but here's the thing. I say it's a matter of time. I mean, eventually these platforms have to make money. And in the world we live in, if you want to make money, you have to be able to reach consumers. You have to be able to advertise. You have to be able to monetize something. Are you going to monetize data? Are you going to monetize data? Are you going to monetize attention? You got to monetize one or the other. You either got to monetize data, or you got to monetize attention, or you got to monetize the platform itself with paid services. Thank you, Christian. I appreciate that. I really do. So, personally, I look at these platforms, and I guess a little bit of background. Parler is up to about 3 million users now. It was the most popular app in the App Store over the last few months because, again, some of the blowback from Facebook and the political censorship, people want to go into a more ostensibly politically neutral platform, although because of that, and because it's kind of a reaction, at least Parler is kind of a reaction of people that have been censored or feel like, like people of a like mind or, censored on Facebook. So now Parler's become kind of this almost right-wing type of conservative platform. And I don't have a problem with that. What's up, Brian? Christian, hey, appreciate that, man. Christian said my arms are getting big. I've been hitting it. I work hard, go to the gym every morning, try not to miss a day. Haven't missed too many days in, the last 5 or 6 years. And then you have MeWe, which is actually the bigger and older of the two. MeWe's up to like 9, it's probably up to 10 million users. Last time I looked at the data, it was 9. And it's ad-free. It's actually a freemium model where you get, kind of free basic tools and then you can pay. I've often said, I get people on Facebook saying, oh, Jeff, who is this guy? Get your stupid ads out of my feed or whatever. I'm like, look, companies got to make money, right? So if you don't want my ads in your Facebook feed, then are you willing to pay for Facebook? That's the question. It's not a charity. I think a lot of the people that complain about ads on these platforms at the same time would not be willing to pay for the use of these platforms. So it remains to be seen where these platforms will end up. But I think that, I don't know, personally, I take a little different approach. To me, it's not about finding a platform that doesn't monetize my data or my attention or my use. I'm a capitalist. I platform that's averse to making money, that's not going to be a platform that I necessarily relate to. But I get it. Everybody's got to do it in their own way. My approach, though, is again a little different. First of all, I just think social media in general has done a real number on people's mindsets. And if there's a lot of Facebook executives now and Twitter executives too that have kind of publicly come out and talked about almost a little bit of guilt for being involved in these platforms that have, dopamine looped people into a lot of addictive behavior. I guess I look at these platforms and it's like, oh, different conversations are possible now in these different ways. But the reality is, over time, I think that everything always gravitates toward the profit motive. It's inevitable. I mean, MeWe, if they're promising an ad-free experience, either they are currently doing it or eventually they will have to do it in such a way that Bodie says, who are you? I'm Jeff Lerner. I'm the guy that can teach you how to have an awesome life. Do you want an awesome life? Are you willing to do what it takes? We're going to talk more about that. This conversation will include commentary on that. The platforms are going to follow the profit motive eventually. And I think that a lot of it is that we just have to make a decision in our life. Again, I'm not saying don't leave Facebook and go to another one of these platforms, because if that's your cup of tea, then drink it. But I just look at it very differently, where it's like, Brian, I love your new workout, your new dedication, your renewed dedication to working out. Brian, man, fitness is so important. But I just look at it as like, who am I going to be in this world? Am I going to be a person who is subject to or susceptible to my environment? Or am I going to be a person that impacts my environment such that I'm the force to be reckoned with? I think a lot of people go on Facebook and they're like, I don't like this. I don't like the way it feels, so I'm going to go over here and I like more the way it feels over there. It's like, what are we doing? We're eating, we're consuming, and then we're going, oh, I don't like the way this feels. I don't like the way this tastes. So I'm going to go consume over here. The reality is, when you take extreme control of your environment, it almost doesn't matter. I say all the time, I believe you could put me in any company, give me just about any job, and I think I'll be a top producer in that role, in that company. There may be a lot of education involved. If you put me into drop me into NASA in the nuclear physics arena, I might need to do a few years of education, but eventually I believe that I will start to reverse the polarity where I'm not subject to my environment. Eventually my environment will be subject to me. And I think that, like Jeff just said, I am the source of influence on my path. And I think that when you recalibrate your relationship with the world to take that approach, you get a lot less, you get a lot less, what's the word? Not subjective. You get a lot less subjective to like where you are and what's going on around you. And frankly, put me in Facebook, I'll be me. Put me in Twitter, I'll be me. Put me in Instagram, I'll be me. Put me on Parler, I'll be me. Put me on MeWe, I'll be me. If I don't like the ads, I won't look at the ads. If I don't like the conversations, I won't have the conversations. Like, to me, this reactivity of social networks popping up as an antidote to other social networks that we don't like, I actually think that it's, I think it's symptomatic of people not really having command of themselves and their environment. And I'm not saying, like, first of all, I need to explore these environments a lot more. Again, as a marketer, as an entrepreneur, I haven't, because honestly, they don't offer me a way to make money right now. And if I'm being honest, my primary interest in social media is as an extension of my business, is as a mechanism for massive outreach and communication that has a unique combination of personalization and intimacy coupled with, mass broadcastable reach. That's what's interesting to me about social media. And so I'm going to go where the people are. I'm going to go where the customers are. And I'm going to be me unapologetically wherever I am. And so, I don't know, maybe I just have a little different perspective. And I'll go to Parler once they have critical mass and there's business to be done there. That's how I feel. But that said, I mean, I guess I will say that I see the appeal. I really do like the idea of these platforms not censoring particular viewpoints and particular ideologies, and they're growing. So that speaks to the demand. I think the bigger thing is, like, you got to realize the game Facebook is playing. I remember when Facebook came out with the Oculus at first, Oculus Rift. Jeff, I got to say, yeah, I totally agree. That Susie podcast, she has some strong opinions. I almost felt like we were butting heads a little bit, which has never happened on a podcast, but it was cool. I could roll with it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I released a podcast episode today with a lady named Sue Zimmerman, who's got really strong viewpoints about Instagram. Silent Medic 68. I really appreciate that so much. Anyway, but that podcast is worth watching, partly because she understands the Instagram landscape as well as anybody I've ever talked to. And secondly, because I don't know that she loved how I approach the Instagram landscape. But then again, this is going to sound like kind of a jerky thing to say. I make a lot more money with social media than she does. So I'm not sure her opinion can beat up my opinion, even though she's the self-proclaimed expert. And that's much love, Sue. If you're seeing this, I know we had a really healthy tete-a-tete repartee going, and I do my thing and you do yours, and we respect each other. That's what counts. But yeah, I look at Facebook and I remember when the Oculus Rift came out, there's so many kind comments coming in. I just really appreciate that. Somebody just joined ENTRE Nation. Good. I'm glad you're getting the value out of it. But again, the way I look at it, when Facebook came out with the Oculus, I was like, why is Facebook going suddenly into gaming? And then I remember it hit me. It was like, they're not going into gaming. They're trying to get people into a hands-free virtual world where people, they're trying to level up the immersion factor of social media. Right now, people, let's say they can spend 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day interacting with social media and projecting their data, projecting their opinions, their interests, their demographics, their statistics, putting through typing into the platform information that allows Facebook to go monetize its users. Imagine how much better Facebook's data and Facebook's understanding of you will be if they can get you inside of a completely virtual environment where they can actually experience the entirety of your interaction with the world around you, because it's a virtual world and it's their world. You got to think about where that's headed. At some point, they're going to know so much about you. Imagine walking down a virtual street where every time you walk down the street, the stores change and they can track which stores you're attracted to, which images you look at, where your eyes go, what you pay attention to. Right now you're using Facebook. They can't see. They can only tell when you stop scrolling, but they can't tell what you're looking at. But inside of Oculus, they can, right? They can literally see where your attention goes. They can see what you point to, how you move. They're going to get so much information. And people act like that's this horrible thing. I don't know why. I'm not more concerned about it. Maybe it's because I don't really have anything to hide. I don't have any big secrets. But here's the thing. As a marketer, I appreciate the value of that information, and I'm willing to participate in the gathering of that information because I recognize that actually creating more efficient, more targeted advertising experiences connect consumers with more relevant offers, and that at no point is a consumer ever forced to engage in anything. And so I guess I just don't get the point. If you don't like the conversations that happen on Facebook, great, go to Parler, go to MeWe. But this whole idea that they're watching you. What are they watching me do? That's so awful. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're watching me. Thanks, Nicholas. I take the compliment. I appreciate that. Yeah. So. Okay. So Lucy said it's because they have the information, not you, unless you pay for it. Yeah, totally. I pay for that information. I pay hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a month for information from the Google and Facebook platforms to be people that might be interested in my offers. And and it's working because people are interested in my offers, and then they're buying my products, which is a vote of approval for the running of the ads in the first place. Look, if people have such an issue with being targeted by ads, stop buying. I think that's the thing. Yeah, Jeff said they like to meld the two ideas and complain about it. But the reality is, if you don't like having your data targeted, stop buying stuff from people that target your data. Don't write off capitalism as a concept and go, screw this, I'm going over here where they don't target me. They're just gonna monetize you a different way. It's this weird dynamic. It kind of goes with the same. Hold on. The rich get richer because they have more money. Now, the rich have more money because they got richer. I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. The rich do not get richer because they have more money. That's a tautology. That doesn't make sense. The rich have more money because they got rich, or because they get richer, and that's why they have more money still. There are plenty of things in this world, and this is to the whole people who complain about being targeted or monetized on Facebook. There are plenty of things in this world that anyone can go do to make money, even if you don't have money. Probably step one would be getting off of all social media, for that matter, or changing your relationship with social media so that you're a producer of value rather than a consumer of other people's value or pseudo value, and thus a consumer of their ads. I'm on Facebook all the time. I'm on Facebook. I say all the time. I'm on Facebook enough to do my business, but I don't buy crap. I've bought a couple things on Facebook. I've bought some courses from some people I respect I kind of wanted to hack their course and see what they're doing. And I'll show you this one other thing I bought. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. And this thing is so cool. This thing is just the bomb. I bought this. It's called the Stealth Core Trainer. And you lay on it like this. Let me get where you can see it. You lay on it like this, balance. It's on a, I guess, what do you call it? A gyroscope. And you lay on it like this, and you stabilize your core. I'm so glad they showed this to me. I am forever grateful. Hold on. I am forever grateful that Facebook had a sophisticated enough algorithm to know that that's a product that I would be interested in, because my core is way stronger than it used to be, because I have it here in my office and I go do it 30 seconds here, a minute there. You put your phone in it. You play these little games on your phone while you're stabilizing your core. And somebody just said, but you're not the norm. Why not? Why am I not the norm? Maybe that's what this really comes down to is, why am I not the norm? Why am I not impacted by my environment? Why am I not emotionally overwrought by the fact that Facebook is monetizing my data? Why do I keep calling it data? Why am I not, just having some sort of like personality schism and breakdown over the fact that there are conversations going on Facebook that I don't like, or that people say incendiary things on Twitter? Why have I not allowed the COVID and the election and all these things in the world to creep into my psyche and paralyze me and make me stagnant and make me conflicted and emotionally destabilized in 2020 like so much of the rest of the world has? Why? You say, oh, you're not the norm. That ain't my problem. And honestly, that ain't Facebook's problem. Look, Facebook's a for-profit business. They're gonna use what they can. You're giving them all your data. And listen, I suspect that eventually Parler and MeWe are going to do their own version of the same thing. That's why I'm not so like caught up in this thing. Like right now, their unique selling proposition, their marketing angle is, hey, we're the anti-Facebook. But eventually they're going to need a different marketing angle because they're not going to be the anti-Facebook anymore. They're going to be the, if Parler evolves into some, right-wing crockpot, it's just going to turn into Newsmax. It's just going to turn into, essentially the same business model as Agora, where they're just monetizing right-wing ideas. They're monetizing anti-establishment ideas. Like, got to get control of our own individual psyches. And then frankly, most of this shit doesn't even matter anymore. That's my 2 cents. Thank you, Marie. I appreciate that. But listen, I just don't accept a world where excellence and intelligence and education and diligence and discipline and priorities and consistency and energy and drive and hustle, I don't accept a world where those are not the norm. They say, be the change you want to see in the world. I acknowledge that those things are not as widespread as perhaps I wish they were, but I'm going to be the change I want to see in the world. Tamara, I appreciate that so much. Just be the change you want to see in the world. And who cares if it's normal or not, right? And the reality is, I can be the change I want to see in the world on Facebook. I can be the change I want to see in the world on Parler. We need basic truths that aren't depending on marketing point of view. I agree with that. But the reality is we need to stop trying to get those truths from platforms that are by their nature intertwined with marketing. You can't go to for-profit platforms to try to get your information or to create your truth while simultaneously insisting on a neutral, non-biased truth from those platforms. You can't do it. You have to create your own truth in your mind through, listen, you want truth? I mean, I just happen to have this on my desk. It always sits on my desk. Whoa, did you seriously say Think and Grow Rich just now, right when I was picking this up? Here's your deal. You want truth? Go buy this book. Because this guy, Napoleon Hill, he's dead. He's not making any money from this. Go buy books by Stephen Covey. Go buy books from people that have said, oh my gosh, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Yes. I don't think I have my physical copy of it here, but I have the audio book. Man, we're getting some good book conversations going, but that book is so powerful. Yeah, I just think that, we give a lot of, we get really caught up in these conversations and these new developments, but the reality is we're only as excited about something as the power we give it. I'm going to say that again for my own benefit. We only get as excited about things as the power we give them. For me, I want to get excited about my daughter having a good day at school. I want to get excited about a new personal record, setting a new personal best in the gym. I want to get excited about hitting a new a new benchmark in my business, which, by the way, I'm going to break another record in my business this month. I broke another record in my business last month. I've broken half a dozen records in my business this year. And these are the things you do when you don't give anything or anyone else your power. The science of, somebody said, what are my thoughts on the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles? My thoughts are yes, yes, and more yes. Tremendous book. Tremendous book. I read it 2009, I would say that I read it. So what's that? Over a decade was the first time. I remember it was actually recommended to me at an event from the first training platform that I learned from. And Jordan says, can you tell me your favorite book on sales? Yeah, I'll give you a few. How to Win Friends and Influence People is just really, really powerful from the standpoint of, how to engender goodwill and create the kind of energy that fosters a positive selling environment. What's up, Fabio? Ciao, my man. I would say another one, anything by Jeb Blunt. If you want to get into like the actual mechanics of like outside selling, how to do the hard grind of sales. Jeb Blunt stuff is so good. He has Fanatical Prospecting, for example, is one of his books. Super awesome book. If you want to get into the psychology of sales, yeah, Jeff, I totally agree. Influence by Robert Cialdini. Lucian, I got to know, who is Lucian? Because literally you're like reading my mind. That's tremendous. Influence by Robert Cialdini. Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. Yeah, those are some good ones. I actually really like, sorry, I'm catching up on comments. I also really like, what's it called? The Greatest Salesman on Earth. It's not specifically about sales. It's kind of more in the how to win friends and influence people, about how to like approach life and approach the world so that sales becomes natural and just sort of a natural outgrowth. The Ultimate Sales Letter. Yeah, that's an awesome book. I mean, that's about sales in writing, copywriting sales, Dan Kennedy. But yeah, so much, so good. So anyway, this has all been kind of a roundabout way of talking about MeWe and Parler. And let's face it, I'm talking about MeWe and Parler because they're hot. They're trendy topics right now. And I'm trying to hook into the algorithms. Notice I'm not doing this broadcast on MeWe and Parler. I'm doing this broadcast on Facebook and on YouTube and on Instagram. And I'm talking about MeWe and Parler because they're trending topics. But I'm doing this where the people are. I'm interested in having conversations where the people are. John Maxwell is tremendous. I probably haven't read a John Maxwell book in, 5 years, but they're so good. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Richest Man in Babylon, awesome book. Jeffrey Gitomer, great. Okay, somebody said, Jeff, if you were to start over in life, what could you be doing to get rich? That's a great question. If I was starting over in life, what would I be doing to get rich? Honestly, I wouldn't be doing that much different than what I'm doing now. I'll tell you, you guys want to know what I've done in the last 2 years to make more money than I ever made in my life? And that was after already being pretty successful and making a good amount of money. I started going to market, having high quantity and high quality conversations. Tons and tons of just messaging and content creation and value delivery out to the world, simply to build connections, build awareness, build an audience. Yeah, Jeff, exactly, Entre. But even pre-Entre, let's say I didn't even have a vision for Entre. And in fact, the funny thing is I didn't really have a crystal clear vision for Entre when I started. I had an awareness that I wanted to do something big. I wanted to do something meaningful and make a big impact in the world. And so I started going to market, tons and tons of conversations. And eventually over time, you're doing a few things. One, you're building the muscle, you're building the confidence and the comfort level of just projecting out to the world. And as you start to do that over time, because frankly, most people aren't willing to do that. And if they were, it wouldn't work. It's an interesting kind of almost ironic endeavor that if everybody was willing to do what I'm describing, then nobody could do what I'm describing. But because most people aren't, most people are kind of shackled with insecurity and fear and a lack of confidence, they won't put themselves out there. But you start putting yourself out there, leveraging these platforms that we're talking about, to put yourself out there and create a lot of really, really intentional conversations that get you clear on who's like you and get you clear on what you believe, and ultimately who believes what you believe. That's really what you're trying to line up with, is who believes what I believe. And when you do enough of that, eventually, if you decide you want to sell something, you'll be able to sell it. Because as Simon Sinek pointed out in Start With Why, people do business who believe what they believe. People buy from people who believe what they believe. And so when you create enough alignment and enough awareness and enough connection with enough people who believe what you believe, then it actually becomes very, very easy to start selling things. Okay. If you were poor and 45, survived cancer, well-read, but doubtful things would change, fearless in changing self, what would you do? So that's kind of a cryptic self-description, but I'm curious. Doubtful things would change. I mean, that's the thing. It's probably very unlikely that you're going to be wildly successful or going to have a big transformation in your life or a big shift if you're doubtful things would change. Why would you be doubtful things can change? If anything, I would say things change for me because I have a supreme level of confidence that I am the fountainhead. I am the wellspring of the world and the life that I create. And if I want change, I'll go out and create it. I don't think there'd be any way to do what I do if I didn't think things could change. And my guess maybe is there's no way for you to do what you might want to do if you don't think things can change. It sounds like there's a belief issue. Remember, what we believe determines what we think. What we think determines what we do. What we do determines what we get. It starts here. Anyways, you know what, guys? I'm going to keep this short today. I still got a lot to do. I got about 3.5 more hours of work before I'm done today. I think I'm going to wrap it there. There's been a quick one. MeWe, Parler, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Don't matter. Wherever you go, there you are. Get clear on who you are. Be that. Don't apologize. And let success come to you. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great night.